धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेता युयुत्सवा मामका पांडवश्चैव किम कुर्वत Sanjaya.
Hello, my lovely listeners. My name is Ghazal, and I welcome you all today to my podcast. It's officially a second episode because the first one I did it as introduction to Bhagavad Gita. And today we are going to talk about the very first chapter of Holy Bhagavad Gita, wherein Arjun is dilemmatic. And in Sanskrit, it's called as Arjun Vishad Yog, the dilemma of Arjun. Well, if you have heard my previous episode wherein I have introduced each character and have given you the background also, you would have a better understanding of this episode, because the more you know the characters and the layers of shades they carry, the easier it would be easy for you to understand and process the entire Gita Gyan. Now, if you would have heard from my previous episode, I had already described that Gita is being transmitted via Sanjay to us. Sanjay, I have given the details wherein he has been given the telepathic sight and he is going to describe the occurrence of battle to King Dhritrashtra. Now, when this particular verse begins, the verse which I have said in the beginning of the episode, if you would have heard it correctly, it uses the word mamka. Mamka meaning mine. And Dhritarashtra is clearly mentioning in the verse, which means, what did my sons and the sons of Pandu do as they assemble at the sacred Kurukshetra? Has the battle already started? Now Dhritrashtra is asking this question to Sanjay, and he is expecting a response from Sanjay if the battle has already started or not, and he wants to know the preparation. But the point is, here it clearly shows the character of Dhritrashtra, wherein his own nephews, the sons of his own brother, he is referring to them as an extruders, like an exclusion party, the intruders who have come and invaded over his property. And he is referring his clan via his sons Kaurav. If you take this statement one level deep down, you will understand the root cause of this war, a family dispute which took a place of a battle. Dhritarashtra was a king of Kuru clan. If he would have wanted, he could have preached his sons about the ethics. Dhritarashtra was blinded by sight, but this statement shows that not just by sight, he was also blinded by the wisdom of ethical and unethical actions. I personally here feel if there would be a great king in a state, there would be no war. And this one was clearly a family dispute. Now, to recognize your inner Arjun, you have to empathize with Arjun and his situation, so that as a viewer or as a listener, it would be easy for you to draw a bridge, a transitioning bridge from Dwapar to Kali Yuga. Now, Dhritarashtra further goes asking Sanjay to describe how the army of his opponents, clearly the opponents, the nephews, the Pandavas-led army he is talking about. He questions, how does Arjun looks like in the battle? So basically, Dhritarashtra is trying to know the preparation of the opponent army, to which Sanjay starts describing Arjuna's entry into the battle. He goes ahead by saying, there is a huge golden colored chariot led by 4 white horses. Krishna, being a charioteer, looks brave and confident. Arjun is standing tall and strong with his Gandiv at the back of the chariot. There is a flag which is fluttering on the chariot, holding an image of Lord Hanuman. Here, Lord Hanuman is a symbol of strength and at the same time a symbol of belongingness towards ethics. Because we all have read Ramayana, we all have known Ramayana. Lord Hanuman always supports the ethical army. While Dhritrashtra is hearing this, Dhritrashtra looks trembled and shaken up because he doesn't like the fact that Arjun is coming across confident and brave. And now Sanjay further goes on to describe, it looks like Arjun has asked Madhav, referring to Lord Krishna, to take his chariot towards the center of the battleground, in the middle of both the armies. What do you think Arjun is doing? Well, if you ask my opinion, I think Arjun wants to do risk assessment, an evaluation of both the armies and their preparations. This happens to us as well, either on a smaller scale, on day-to-day life, or if you have to make a bigger decision. You always evaluate the pros and the cons of any decision you have undertaken. And Arjun is doing the similar thing. It looks like Lord Krishna is taking Arjuna's chariot to the center of the battleground to evaluate and do adequate analysis of both the armies. Because in total, there were 18 armies participating in this battle. 11 being with Kaurav and the 7 being led by Pandavas. 18 has played a very specific role in the entire epic of Mahabharata. Now, Arjun has stopped in the center of the battleground. He is looking at both the armies. He is doing his evaluation, wherein he is analyzing his strength, weakness, not only for his armies, but also for the armies which are on the other end. If you have faced a similar situation or have ever contemplated about your decision making, I am sure you also did an evaluation and analysis of the situation, especially when your family is involved. And in this case, Arjun has to actually harm his own clan, his own family. Just imagine how difficult it is for Arjun. As the chariot arrives in the center of the battlefield, he sees his great-grandfather, Mahamahin Bhishma, on whose lap he has actually played and grown up. And the thing with Arjun was, he was almost a favorite child for everyone. In the next glance, he sees Mahamahin Bhishma and Guru Drona standing together and talking about a decision-making process of their attacks. When he looked at Guru Drona, he was embarrassed. He felt that he has learned all the warrior tricks, how to operate Gandiv, how to even pick a bow or an arrow, and today he is going to use it against his own teacher. Because if you know about Guru Drona, he has always been accused that more than Ashwathama, he adored Arjun. That's why Ashwathama never liked Arjun or his armies of brother, because he always felt that his own father Guru Drona likes Arjun more. On the next sight, he sees all his cousins with whom he has played in his childhood are also planning an attack against Pandava's army. Looking at all this, Arjun looks shaken up. Arjun looks worried, trembled, and definitely dilemmatic. It looks like something is hijacking Arjuna's aura. Well, if you see from my eyes, he was getting emotionally hijacked. His feeling that he is going to kill his own family, he is going to be responsible to finish his own Kuru clan, is shaking him up, is making him to grieve about his own morality and actions. While all this is happening, nobody has spoken a word, neither Arjun nor Lord Krishna. But now is the time when Arjun is going to raise all his dilemmatic questions. Listen to it very carefully, because if you have been in a similar situation, not necessarily on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, but the battlefield of your own heart and mind, you will definitely understand it better. Krishna can see Arjun and his blooming fear in the battlefield. Now, it's become very obvious because it is clearly visible in Arjuna's body language. Arjun addresses to Lord Krishna with his grieving, emotional, and stressful dilemma and questions. In a regret voice, Arjun says, Madhav, this opposition army which I see in front of me is my own clan. I am unable to raise my weapon against my own people because they are family. If I take a pause here and just remind you the difference of character and a thought process, where Dhritrashtra in the beginning of this podcast was addressing his clan only as Kauravas and was considering Pandavas as intruders. But oppositely, Arjun is addressing his cousins and his great-grandfather, his own family. Arjun further says, he cannot become a reason to finish his own clan. He cannot sustain a fact that he would become a sole reason to finish a Kuru clan. During Dwapar era, finishing your own dynasty was considered to be a very big deal. And people believed that if you become a reason to finish your own clan, you would always be compared to Vibhishan and also will be condemned to hell. How can family be an enemy? Raising weapon against my own family would never bring me peace. And the raging question which comes towards Lord Krishna was, when I am unsure about my own decision, about my own commitment to my action, how am I going to give my best to this battle? Well, when I was reading Gita for the very first time, I was left astonished with this seed of thought. This is so true even in Kali Yuga. When you are not sure about your own decision, about your own action, how would you even think of delivering your 100% to the task which is being given to you? Either it could be professional oriented or personal life as well. That's why we say you have to be first convinced by yourself to take any actions so that your mind can work in a right path. These were the personal dilemma which Arjun was facing, but he also had thought about on a social, ethical level. Arjun is also worried what would be the repercussions of this war. He is thinking about the weeping widows and the abandoned child who are going to be everywhere prevailing in the society. He is also thinking about the employment level, resources which are going to be utilized in this battle, and the kind of consequence it's going to create on the society. So Arjun is a character who is selfless. He is also considering society to be impacted with this war, and he is raising his concern to Lord Krishna. He also further says that Madhav, as I can see, this war is going to cause major destruction. It would bring an end to the civilization. This is a clear quality of a warrior. He is not just concerned about his own family, his own emotion, but also society as a whole. Arjun questions his own morality. Am I not supposed to protect my family? Instead, I am standing here tall, going to plan my actions to fight against them. Although, if you have heard Mahabharata or if you have seen it on any sort of television platform, you know that Mahabharata was not caused by one reason. There were so many accumulated reasons which led to this battle. Disrobing Draupadi, sending Pandavas on an exile, and so many things. And how can we forget Lakshagra, where an attempt was made to finish the entire Pandavas family, including Kunti. So when Lord Krishna brought the peacemaking offer to Duryodhana's court, still an attempt was being made to not get this war started. But Duryodhana, what did he say? He said, I am not going to give a single point of needle space to these Pandavas because they are intruders. They do not deserve this, and I am not ready to make any sort of peace with it. How would Arjun give his best in this dilemmatic situation? If you would have heard the entire podcast, I always kept saying Sanjay said or Arjun said, because Lord Krishna, who is a coach, mentor and a guide to Arjun, has not spoken a word yet. He is going to speak in the next chapter, which is an act of transcendental knowledge, Sankhya Yoga. This also shows the quality about Lord Krishna, that he is not just proactive to dismiss Arjun's thought. He is a great friend, great listener, and that's why he is trying to absorb, but at the same time making a right decision with his own contemplation in his mind and heart. Because fighting a battle should always be a last reason. So in the next episode, you are going to hear the transcendental knowledge which Arjun is going to attain from Lord Krishna. With this, I bring Arjuna's dilemma to an end. Well, I am nobody to do that, but this episode comes to an end. With all your support on Spotify and Amazon Music, I have made this effort to come on YouTube as well and deliver you the word of healing via Bhagavad Gita. If you did like this episode, don't forget to share it with your friends and family, and especially to the ones whom you think they need the most. I'm also present on Instagram, Spotify, Amazon, Anchor, Pocketfy, everywhere. You can find me as Bhagavad Gita with Ghazal, or even if you type my name. I also make some travel content on my YouTube. You can check it out on my same channel, Go Ghazal Gone. With this, my name is Ghazal Srivastava, and I am signing off with the name of Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna.